the India-US strain in ties as far as the economic realm is concerned. Meanwhile, viewers, we're shifting focus away towards Japan, where we're now learning that candidates have begun emerging for the next leadership of Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party following Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's shocking resignation. Ishiba stepped down after taking responsibility for his coalition's losses in both houses of parliament amid voter anger over rising living costs. Now, the LDP plans to hold an emergency leadership vote on the 4th of October. This comes as per reports citing a senior party official. Former Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi has reportedly become the first lawmaker to officially announce his candidacy. Moreover, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshimasa Hayashi has also intended to run in the election. Now, however, according to reports, the frontrunners are LDP veteran Takeichi and Shinjiro Koizumi, son of former Prime Minister Junichiro Koizumi. Neither has formally announced their candidacy, but they finished second and third respectively in the last leadership contest that was held in September 2024. The political uncertainty has impacted financial markets, with Japan's yen sinking and investors now speculating that successors like fiscal Dove Takeichi may increase spending. Meanwhile, residents in Tokyo are expressing concern about the situation, with some hinting that Japan would struggle to maintain stability after frequent leadership changes. Let's take a closer look at what the residents have had to say.
驚きはしますね。はい。真面目な方ですよね。あとは総理候補って言われてる他の方が怖い方ばっかりだと思うんで、できれば頑張ってほしいなと思うんですけれどもね。はい。
びっくりはしないですね。誰がやってもあまり変わらないのではないかなという、ありますね。そうですね。この何回もここ最近もやっぱり何回も変わってるので、また安定しないんじゃないかなっていう。日本はまだ安定しないんじゃないかなっていう不安ですね。
All right, with us on the broadcast is a very special guest, but before I go across to him, we also know that some analysts have attributed to LDP's decline to Ishiba's leadership. Let's listen in to what Jeffrey Hall, a Japanese political expert, has had to say.
Sell the party's message to voters, and Ishiba did not do a very good job of selling the party's message to voters at all. He came in looking like he might be a reformer who would fix the party after scandals, but he did very little to address those scandals, and voters punished the LDP 2 elections in a row because they just weren't satisfied with the way he was running the country. They weren't satisfied with the LDP in general. The 2 frontrunners are Koizumi and Takaichi, and it seems like all indications are that it will come down to them facing off against each other in the final part of the leadership election. And so it will really be a question of whether or not the very hard conservative part of the party that supports Takaichi will be able to get enough support to take on the more moderate conservatives who support Koizumi. And Koizumi is more ideologically close to former Prime Minister Ishiba, but he has friends in the right places in the party, and he isn't quite as polarizing as Ishiba when it comes to the conservatives in his party. Whoever becomes next Prime Minister of Japan will have to offer some kind of economic plan. They'll also have to deal with the impact of American tariffs. Even though Japan did get an agreement that secured tariffs at a lower rate than Trump had initially threatened, the 15% tariffs on Japanese goods are still going to hurt Japan's economy. And this will contribute to the sense of economic pessimism in the country and people feeling like things are getting worse.
Joining us on the broadcast is Dr. Tomohiko Taniguchi, former advisor to late Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. He's joining us from Tokyo. Thank you for taking our time speaking to us on NewsX World. At the outset, I wanted to understand from you how exactly is the LDP leadership race panning out. Could you explain to our viewers a little bit about the potential candidates who are now coming to the fore?
First of all, this is not a national affair. This is a party affair. Nonetheless, the leader of the party is going to be eventually elected and endorsed by the parliament, both houses, lower and upper house, as prime minister. So this is to choose the next prime minister. And the grassroots rank and file members of the LDP will be made able to cast their own votes in the first round of the elections. If the first round brings about a single biggest winner, then the race is going to be over. But more likely, the first round is going to push forward 2-3 strong candidates. Then the second round is going to be between the first and the second strongest contenders. That's exactly what happened last year. September last year, Takaichi, the female candidate, Ms. Takaichi, won the decisive victory in the first round, and yet the second round among the parliamentarians nonetheless chose Mr. Ishiba. So it's going to be a big deja vu, I would imagine. That's going to take place for some time between now and 4th of October.
And whoever is finally chosen does have a lot of responsibility to shoulder. We've seen, in fact, Japan being rocked by inflation as well. We've seen the wages being stagnant over quite some time as well. We do know that there was a scandal that had tainted the LDP's reputation a little bit, although the results did end up with the LDP forming a coalition and coming to power once again. But in your opinion, how can the new candidate then win over those who were skeptical in the previous elections that were held this year and last year as well?
Whoever is going to be chosen as the leader of the party and then as prime minister by the parliament, she has to deliver policy platform agendas. But in order for them to do this, they need to increase their political capital by continuing to win national level elections, which is the reason why many analysts and pundits have started to say that soon after the selection of the leader of the party and the prime minister, the next prime minister is going to soon dissolve Japanese lower house. And it's going to be a huge bet. But unless and until the LDP will be successful to gain more support from the public, it's going to be difficult for them to win the majority yet again. And without winning majority in both houses, it's going to be a hugely difficult task for the next prime minister to deliver on the policy front.
So with that, I would like to thank you for taking our time speaking to us live on NewsX World as we track these delicate